I remember the precise moment when I realized my wife, Patricia, was insufferable when it came to television. Every evening as the sun fell below the horizon, painting the sky with crimson hues, I would return home from an exhausting day at work, desiring only to sink into the plush embrace of our worn-out couch, clutching the remote control and losing myself in the world of broadcasted media. However, my wish was nothing more than a futile dream. Patricia, you see, had an absolute stranglehold over our television set. She would monopolize it without consideration, clicking away between mind-numbing reality shows, cooking channels, and the ceaseless gush of soap operas, barely ever acknowledging my existence or my equally valid claim to the entertainment center. "How can you not enjoy the intellectual stimulation of the Real Housewives of Des Moines?" she'd say, a flippant challenge in her eyes. "Perhaps because, my dear," I'd reply, "the meaning of life does not quite seem to be wrapped up in petty arguments over a bake sale or someone's Botox treatment." She just sighed, as if I was the bad guy here. "Quit being so dramatic," she spat out. Her gaze stuck to the drama unfolding on the screen. I put on my best mock-indignant voice. "This isn't about theatrics, Patricia. It's about splitting the TV time." But she brushed me off with a flick of her hand. "If you're so ticked off, why don't you just get another TV?" That answer hit me like a truck. It was as if I was squaring off against a boss-level enemy. Not just any boss, a mega-entitled, zero-chill, remote-hogging boss. That's when an idea hit me. It was wild, even a bit unhinged. And the main character? Patricia's own mom, Madeline. Patricia was all about drama, and I was ready to serve her some. Buckle up, folks, 'cause shit was about to get real, right on live TV. One evening, after weeks of stewing in this toxic brew of resentment, an idea took root in my mind. A solution, radical yet poetic in its justice. If I couldn't watch the TV, I would become a part of it, make her see me, and remember that she was not the only person in the room. The plan was almost Machiavellian in its design, and it involved Patricia's mother, a seasoned anchor for the local news. We shall call her Madeline. We had only exchanged pleasantries in the past, but now I sought a deeper connection. Over a clandestine coffee at the corner cafe, we found an unexpected resonance, sharing laughs and conversations that tasted sweeter with the risk involved. "What are you up to, really?" she inquired, her eyes narrowing with playful suspicion. "Would you believe me if I said I simply wanted to get to know you better?" I responded with a half grin. The surprising chemistry grew into a blaze, turning into sleepovers that morphed from innocent to passionate with shocking speed. I felt desired, important, alive, a feeling long forgotten in the shadow of Patricia's TV tyranny. Madeline was more than an accomplice. She was now my lover, and together we decided to take the final step, my grand entrance on live television. The newsroom had a metallic electric tang to it, a scent of nerves and hot lights. As the time grew closer, I could hear the rhythmic thump of my own heartbeat, a tribal drum egging me on towards my destiny. The moment arrived. The red light of the camera blinked on, and Madeline, with a smile that lit up the screen, introduced me to the viewers. Every word that fell from her lips tasted of liberation as she set the stage. I knew Patricia would be watching. It was her favorite news hour, after all. I turned towards Madeline and got down on one knee, my gaze locked onto the camera, knowing Patricia was on the other side. I brought out a ring, sparkling under the studio lights, and I proposed to Madeline. I could almost hear Patricia's shocked gasp from our home. Just as the broadcast ended, my phone buzzed. Patricia, naturally. I picked up and she was at a loss for words, stuttering, spluttering, her disbelief palpable. "I saw what you did on the TV, you and my mother." She was frantic, her voice shrill with disbelief. "Well, isn't that something?" I chuckled. "I never thought you'd find the time to watch the news." Before she could get another word in, I hung up. The aftermath was an eruption of scandal, a whirlwind of divorce papers and accusations. But when the storm cleared, I stood tall beside Madeline, who had chosen to leave her job. We left the town that had been my prison and moved away. To this day, I remember the smirk on my face as I heard Patricia's voice crack over the phone, the shiver of delight at the success of my plan. It was a testament to the absurdity of our existence, a tale of rebellion against the tyranny of the small screen, a lesson in asserting oneself in the face of encroaching entitlement. The days following my daring live TV proposal were not without their drama. Patricia was the living embodiment of fury and shock, a tempest that raged without end. Even her family members, usually so aloof and disinterested, seemed to come out of the woodwork, expressing their bewilderment and thinly veiled disapproval. The divorce was quick, with Patricia more than eager to sever ties. I couldn't blame her, but there was a certain satisfaction in reclaiming my independence, a subtle thrill of knowing I'd turned the tables. Patricia's tyranny over the television had been the catalyst for my own audacious televised revolt. Meanwhile, Madeline and I began a new chapter of our lives. She gave up her career as a news anchor, a job that had once been her lifeblood. The scandal and the consequences thereof had left her disillusioned, but there was a glimmer of excitement in her eyes, an eagerness to start anew. We found a home far away from the prying eyes of our previous town. I remember standing on the porch of our new home, looking out at the expanse of our untamed garden, the sunset painting the skies with streaks of gold and pink. It felt like the beginning of something real and beautiful, far removed from the suffocating hold of Patricia's TV obsession. As Madeline and I settled into our new house, the irony wasn't lost on me. My new life was marked by a tranquility that was almost unfamiliar, a stark contrast to my previous TV-less existence with Patricia. One day, while we were enjoying a quiet dinner, I couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Madeline looked at me, her brows furrowed in a question. "You know, I can't help but find it funny," I began, the corners of my mouth curving up in a smirk. "Here I am, in this beautiful house with the most amazing woman who happens to be, wait for it, my ex-wife's mom." Madeline chuckled, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "Well, when you put it like that," I raised a hand, interrupting her. "Oh, and the best part? I'm having sex with my ex-wife's mom." We both burst into laughter, our voices echoing in the empty house. It was a comment so outrageous, so uncalled for, it was funny. In the midst of the laughter, it hit me. This was exactly what I'd been missing with Patricia. The ability to joke, to be outrageous, and to share a genuine laugh over the simple, and sometimes the not-so-simple absurdities of life. For the first time in a long time, I was in control. I had the freedom to watch what I wanted, when I wanted. But somehow that didn't matter anymore. TV had lost its charm. After all, I'd found a story far more captivating and engaging my own. The irony was not lost on me. Patricia's entitlement had pushed me into a corner, but it also pushed me to take back control and write my own script. I learnt to take a stand, to fight for what I wanted, and in the end, it was a story worth telling, a story worth living. I would watch TV now and then, of course, but whenever I did, I would do so with a sense of satisfaction, of having reclaimed my rightful space. The couch was no longer a battleground, but a symbol of victory, a tribute to the silent rebellion I had led against Patricia's despotic reign. And Patricia? Well, she was free to watch TV all she wanted. After all, it was her beloved pastime that had set this all into motion. But whenever she did, I imagine she was reminded of the day she saw me on the screen, on her mother's news show, proposing to her mother. That was one show she would never forget. And I must admit, I enjoyed that thought. In the end, Patricia's TV obsession was her downfall. And my liberation? Well, that was broadcasted on live television. As Peterson might say, stand up straight with your shoulders back. And I did in front of millions on live TV. There's a certain poetic justice in that, wouldn't you agree? It's not every day you trade your wife for her mom. Talk about an upgrade. At least now he can watch what he wants on TV. I guess when it comes to remote control wars, Mother really does know best. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.